All right, so a bitch board, like, does my Snap family want a Ouija board story time? Because if you do, like, respond, bitch. Fuck it, I'm gonna make it anyway. I'm fucking sauce. I had to light the board. The port. I'm drunk as shit. I had to light the fucking port. This story is so fucking wild. Like, I don't give a fuck if nobody believe me. But, like, bitch, I don't lie about shit, bitch. Like, I come with the facts. I just, like, didn't record the situation because spirits don't like cameras. But I have valid proof from multiple people. One of them didn't want their names to be said, but the other two, I'm gonna say they fucking names because they the fuck now. And you can ask them because they was the fuck there when that shit happened. Bitch. My fucking dumb ass went and bought me a fucking Ouija board. Why? I don't know. Like, I've always, like, was intrigued by these shits. Like, it's a fucking board game. Like, you know, they be having all types of shit. Stranger Things. They probably got fucking Mickey Mouse Ouija boards. But they got boards and shit. And I seen a real one from the 1960s. And I said I needs to cop that. And I did. This shit keep ass shit on me. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, let me get to the story. So I got the board from, like, a regular Halloween store nearby me. No corona. Anyway, like, when I came into the whole situation, I had a clear mind about it. Like, I just wanted to see if it worked, you know. I thought people would be bullshit. Like, man, that shit be moving. Y'all bitches be moving that shit on your own. Like, okay, it's a joke. And then everybody that has a story time about Ouija boards, it's always, oh, when we was kids, we played that shit. Listen, bitch, I ain't no kid. I'm an adult. And my dumb ass went to go play this game because I'm like, y'all be bullshit. Like, y'all was kids. Y'all probably just made that shit up in your head. No. This wasn't that. This was not the fuck that, bro. Like, so if we friends on Facebook, you know that all my friends was bitching. Nobody wanted to play with me. Everybody knows that you're not supposed to play by yourself. So for days, like, I had it for like a day or two before anybody like was like, I want to play. Well, people did say they want to play, but they was bullshit. Like, bitch, you ain't want to play. Cass, bitch, you ain't want to play. I'm just saying like that. Anyway, a couple other bitches didn't want to fucking play. But I found a group of bitches who wanted to fucking play. And they knew how to play when my dumb ass did not. And they played it the real shit. Like, I didn't know you had to sage your board. They saged my board for me. They said it was going to clear my board, you know. Give it, I guess give the nigga a clear peace of mind. And make sure nobody know how to get through that shit that ain't supposed to get through that shit. I don't know, because I'm going to get into that part. But something the fuck happened because bitches got through that shit. Like, so no bullshit. The first set of people that wanted to play with me was a white bitch. You know how white people be. Extra. But the main bitch that, like, set up the whole scenario, she was mixed. Like, that's my shorty. Like, you know what I mean? She cool. They all cool. They all my shorties. But they was doing some whole white people shit, bro. Like, we sitting on the floor. We set it all up or whatever. They got candles and shit. And, like, you know, we use sand to, you know. It sounds bad, but I guess you want to call it seance. I don't believe it. I don't want to get in that shit. Like, I don't like that shit. I don't like that word. But it was a circle. And niggas was around a circle with some candles. So the board's between us and shit. It took a minute for shit to, you know, start working. Basically, who is it? It's 4 of us. And we all sitting around the board. And this fucking shit started, like moving on its own. Like, I cannot bullshit you. Like, I would not lie. I put this on my kids. I'm not one of these people who will fucking lie. Like, basically, mind you, this is my first experience with the board that I bought. But, like, I'm playing with other people I've never played before. And also, this is, like, my first time, like, really hanging out with them. So, but, you know, they had good vibes. So, I trusted them. But also, like, I thought, you know, I told them off the rip. Like, this is my first time, like, don't bullshit me. I didn't come all the way OT for y'all to play games with me. Like, I really need to know if this board works. Like, I didn't spend fucking $65 for this shit to fucking not work. Like, y'all gotta give me something. Or somebody let me something. So, like, mind you, the board's old as shit. Like, it came, the box was fucked up. So, obviously, somebody returned that shit. Was like, no, nizzle, not playing this shit. Niggas was coloring on the back of this shit. Like, look. On back with it. All right, this is the board, y'all. Right? And for y'all that don't know what it is, this is a planchette. I'm not gonna put it on the board because you're not supposed to when nobody's playing. But yeah, y'all get the memo. So that planchette shit I told you about, like we all around a circle. I'm kind of to like diagonal from like everybody else, and there's two people that never played before, and there's two people who have played before. So the two people who had played before, they're on the same side, they're opposite of the like ever played. So mind you, the shit like it never moved to none of the letters, like it never did none of that shit like how it's supposed to. But what it did do was lift up on its own, like how, and like I'm thinking like they're putting pressure down, but their fingers don't got like, it don't look shit like this. Like you see how my fingers is bent? It didn't look like that at all. Like our fingers was loose as shit, bruh. Like loose as fuck. Like, so the shorty next to me that was like, that never played with me, she was like, nah, like I'm not playing no more. Like I'm done. Like she was so scared. Me on the other hand was like, oh my God, like, no, it did not just lift. So I'm like, are y'all doing that shit? Like, stop playing. They was like, no, like, I'm not. Both of them serious ass faces, like, I'm not playing. And the girl was like, nah, like, we gotta say goodbye. Like, so, you gotta say goodbye. So she said goodbye. So we all say goodbye. I go home, and, like, the next day, I'm like, all right, I'm by myself. I wanna play, like, because I really wanna know if this shit works. Like, because I play with other people, and I really need to know. I play by myself. It moved. It fucking moved. I forget what I asked. I think I asked, like, is anybody here? And it moved to yes. And I was like, okay, like, are you a good spirit? And it was like, it moved back a little bit and then it moved back to yes. And I'm like, well, okay, like, what the fuck? So I kind of got scared and I was like, no, I'm tired. Like, I'm going to sleep. So I said goodbye. But the next day, like, I was like, I put it on Facebook. I was like, wow, like, it's just crazy how that shit really works. Like I can't believe I bought a board, a fucking game that works with, like, spirits. Like, how, it's so, like, mind, like, fucking, it's so weird. Like, how? Like, so I call up my bitch Jaden and I tell her about it or whatever. So she's like, nah, like, that shit didn't happen. Like, whatever. I want to play. So she come over and plays. And, we do it outside or whatever. And so, she's like, Monty, you're moving this shit. And I'm like, nah, same shit, same questions we asked. Anybody there? Are you a good spirit? The shit was like, no, I'm a bad spirit, basically. Like, it went to the word no. And we were like, is it a good spirit? It said no. So then she also she was asked, like, do you know me? It said yes. Like, it was just so weird. Like, it said yes. So, typical. She don't believe me. I told her to play by herself, which you're not supposed to do. But, fuck, I did it. So I'm like, I've been fine. Nothing's happened besides whatever I did on the board. So she plays. She said her hand was twitching, like, and I'm like, that's what it's supposed to do. Your hand is like, it's energy. So she's like, I feel like I'm moving. I'm like, you're not moving it, Jaden. Like, it's been stiff for like a minute. And then all of a sudden it starts moving and like you don't know which direction it's going, but it's going to letters and words and shit and it's making sense. Like, that's not like, bitch, come on, dumbass. Like, bitch, it's moving on your own and you're questioning yourself. Like, and then you see it, like, doing shit, like, lifting up and shit. Bitch, you questioning your eyeballs. And when you watch this shit, bitch, like, I hope you look dumb because now you really know what's up now. So next day, now all of a sudden, Shorty want to play. Like, she's like, I want to play again. Like, whatever. So I'm like, all right, we can play. Now my other friend want to play. She wants to be private. So I'm going to call her Mimi. So Mimi, she's playing with us. We come together, whatever, and why don't, like, me and Mimi are playing by ourselves. Jaden's watching or whatever, so she's still skeptical or whatever. So, it took a minute to move. Me and her got her fingers on the shit, and the shit starts moving again. I said, ask a question. So when she asked, she was like, do you know me? And it said yes. So I was like, okay, so since she don't believe us, well, ask a question that I don't know and that she don't know. So she's like, okay, well, do you know anybody? Like, do you know my grandfather? So it said yes. So I'm like, okay, what's your grandfather's name? It spelled out the name Robert. So I said, is that your grandfather's name? She said no. So I'm like, oh, well, that's weird. Like, who's Robert then? So she was like, I don't know. So I'm about to call my mom. Bitch, call her mom. FaceTime her. We all listening or whatever. So she's like, Mom, do we have anybody in our family named Robert? Her mom was like, yes. Like, why? She said, oh, like, did he die or anything? Her mama was like, yeah, like, Mimi, why are you acting weird? Like, for real, like, why are you acting weird? Like, what's going on? She was like, oh, nothing, like, I'm gonna call you back. So she bang on her, and we like, what the fuck? Like, yo, she didn't know she had a family member that passed away. Mind you, her mom also said on the phone, like, yo, like, she was like, why you worry about somebody who died so long ago? And we, like, yo, that shit fucked me up, bro. Like, what the hell? So now Jaden, it's her turn. So she want to play with us or whatever. So when Jaden plays, like, she's still, like, bugged the fuck out. At this point, I'm starting to realize, like, she knows something's going on, but, like, she still was like, nah, like, y'all bitches moving that shit, like, no. But I'm like, Jaden, first of all, bitch, how the fuck am I lifting the planchette by itself? If anything, I'm on the side by myself. That means you and this bitch Mimi lifted that shit on y'all side, and y'all both saying y'all didn't. And it's in the air on my side with my fingers on it. So, come on. If anybody know physics, you fucking know. Like, come on. And, like, gravity. Come on, dumbass. I did not do it. So, I'm like, it was not me this whole time. Anytime this planchette moved on its own or went to words, it was not me. It was not Mimi. Bitch, and you saying it wasn't you. Like, so Jaden walk away. So, now it's just me, Mimi, and my brother sitting, and I'm trying to get my brother to play the game, like, because she don't believe us. So I'm like, you play around too much, Kurt. Like, I hate you. Like, you draw too much. So, like I said, she walked away. And so I'm like, before you walk away, both of y'all, give me a question that me and Kiki don't know. Like, none of us know. But y'all two. So Kurt was like, who's Brownie? And Jaden was like, okay, what's my granddad's name start with, and what's my grandmom's name start with? Or if that's too hard, ask what my favorite color is. So we go on the board or whatever. It spells out a name for Brownie. So I'm not gonna say the name, but it spelled out a name. So I'm like, yo, Kurt, who the fuck is this? So he was like, that's crazy. Like, Brownie's our old rabbit. And he said, but the name that it's spelled out on the board, that's crazy because that person got 2 rabbits at home. And I'm like, wow. And he was like, also, like, what's crazy? They just texted me this message. So in the message, it said, so-and-so was going to, I guess, like, wherever he was at, was going to lock the door. Like, the same name that's spelled out on the board. And I just think that's so wild that, like, I did not read my brother's text message. I swear to God, like, I wish I can't express it how much I'm not lying. Like, it spelled out that same name. He was just like, wow, like, how he was playing. But now, like, his face is serious. He's like, wow, like, that's wild as shit. So I'm like, okay, so now me and Mimi, we're still going on. We about to answer Jaden's question. And so, we like, okay, who... do you know her granddad? It said yes. It went to yes. And we're like, okay, what's his name? So instead of saying the name, it went to the first letter of the name, and it went to D. So we're like, D, like, it stopped at the letter D instead of keep going. So we're like, okay. So we're like, okay, well, what's her grandmom's name? And it went to the letter E. So we're like, and it stopped again. We're like, what the fuck? Like, okay. Now we asked the question, what's Jade? Like, we were like, what's her favorite color? We didn't even say the name, but we were like, what's her favorite color? And it went to the word red. So I go relay the message to Jaden because she walked the fuck away. And I was like, yo, bitch, like, who's fucking D? Who's E? And is your favorite color red? So she said, wow, my pop-pop's name is Donald. my grandma name, I forget, I think it's like Erna or Irma, something like that. And I don't, none of us know this information. Like, we just don't know that. And I'm like, okay, so is your favorite color red? But that's when she said no. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We weren't specific when we asked the question, what's her favorite color? So it could be her grandma's favorite color, like, but she don't know that. So, like, now we need to know, like, is her grandma's favorite color red? Like, because it's just so weird that we were just so accurate with everything else. And then when it just came down to the color red, like, that's the only thing that's so mysterious about this whole situation. Also, let me just point this out. Like, in between me and Mimi just, like, playing by ourselves when Jaden was bullshitting. And, like, just watching us play. And, like, you know, she would walk away in between. So, like, we would just ask questions, like, what do you want to do with Jaden? Like, when I forgot to say that when me and Jaden played by ourselves before me and Mimi and all of us linked together, like, this was Jaden's first experience. This shit said it knew her. This shit said that, like she didn't want to play, so she stopped playing. So I started playing by myself, like, asking questions for her. And it said that it went to I'm like, well, it said it was angry. I made it angry because it stopped. It, like, was moving, you know, and then it started going fast and shit. That's why she didn't believe me. And so, like, when it stopped, I'm like, did I make you angry? He said yes. So I'm like, well, why did it make you mad? And it went to the number 2. So I'm like, 2? And Jaden was like, because... So Jaden was like, 2 maybe wants me to play. But she was so, like, skeptical, yet scared, she didn't want to play. So that's why I guess it made me angry. So every time when me and Mimi would play, mind you, before it was just me and Jaden. So the next day when me and Mimi had played, and all of us, and Jaden as well, you know, me and Mimi alone, Jaden was still scared to play. I'm tired of saying that. Me and Mimi, we're asking questions about Jaden so she would start believing us. And we're like, well, what do you want to do with Jaden? Like, why do you keep bringing up Jaden? Like, before it was you just wanted me and Jaden to play. Now you want me, Mimi, and Jaden to play. Like, what's up with you? Like, do you have a problem? And she was like, I mean, not she, but the thing was like, nothing. I don't want nothing to do with her. But she's in danger. And I'm like, it's about the word danger. And I'm like, so we asked, like, from who? You? And it said yes. So that's, like, scary as fuck. Like, why is she in danger? So we're like, why? Like, what does she do? Like, every time we just question, like, basically, like, yo, bull, like, whatever the fuck behind this fucking Ouija board, like, you a fucking stalker. Like, you giving me pedo vibes. Like, bitch, what? Like, and we kept asking, like, what do you want with this chick? Like, bitch. And it just kept ignoring us. Like, it kept going to the word goodbye. It just kept signing goodbye. And every time we asked why, it would just say, like, nothing. It was bullshit. And, like bitches ain't have time for that shit. Like, so we just got so scared. And we were like, you know what? We got to say goodbye. Like, we just stopped playing. Like, so we went to go tell Jaden all this shit. Kurt all bugged the fuck out. Like, nah, I'm not playing that shit. Like, y'all bitches got that shit. Like, mind you, like, it was just, like, a really scary it was just really scary experiences. But, you know, when I first started out on the board, like I said, it barely was energy. Like, I believe that because, like, my first time doing alone, like, when we did all the extra shit with the candles and, like, you know, drawing the circle with the sand, I think it was able to, like, not possess, but, like, manipulate the planchette to lift by itself, you know, at an angle. And then, like, I don't know, whatever happened, I hope it didn't follow me because I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. Like, I'm covered. You know, like, so, but anyway, like, but I don't know, but when I was with Jaden and them, which is different people from my first time, it did the same thing. It lifted up by itself, but, like, I feel like each time I play, it gets stronger. And, like, and I don't feel like it's a bad vibe towards me, but, like, anything can get through these boards. Bro, I just feel like anything can get through these boards. Like, you just really gotta be careful. I feel like if you go to church, I'm not all the way right. Everybody know that. But I feel like if, you know, whatever you believe in, if you got, like, a spiritual covering and like you pray and do, you try to cover yourself because, everybody sins. We all make mistakes. I just feel like you got to be careful because I believe, I've always grown up in church. I've always believed in like spirits and stuff. But I'm the type of person, like, I'm hard-headed. And I feel as though, like, I don't believe shit, like, until it happens or I see it with my own two eyes. And that's why I bought this board, not to, like, conjure up anything. I bought the board to, like, see if it really works. And, Halloween stuff is coming out. So, I wanted to try. And let me just tell you, guys, it's real. If you're going to play, be careful. Like, I know you're not supposed to play by yourself, but, like, I feel as though if you're going to play this game anyway and you just tap into the spiritual world and you just going to play, if you playing with people, without people, you're still talking to spirits. So the rules don't matter. Play how you want. Be cautious. Just be careful, like, because I've talked to good spirits and I've talked to bad spirits. Like, I personally feel as though I have a spiritual covering. I've watched stories. People have told me stories about playing the game. They were scared, never want to play it again. I'm going to keep my board. I don't know if I feel comfortable just playing. But, like, if you want to know, like, some questions, if you don't believe me, if you want to know anything, hit me up. Ask me. Because I bet you I'll find out the answer. But I just feel like I'm covered and, like, I'll be okay. Nothing flew out the cabinets or anything, like how other people's experiences be. Like, I didn't believe it before, but, like, knowing that, like, it started out slow, real calm, moving at, like, 0.5 miles per hour. Like, it was slow as shit to move into, like, 3 miles per hour on this fucking board. I believe anything anybody says because it just depends on what kind of person you are or what kind of things going on in your life. I just think that anything can attach to you. I just hope nothing happens to me. Like, nothing has happened so far, but if anything happens, I'm me, I'm gonna let y'all know. But so far, anything that's happened has been on the board, and I've been given answers to questions I did not know. That's it. But it was pretty cool. Like, I don't regret it, but I just think it was pretty creepy. That's it. Like, if you want to hear more stories or if you want to know some shit, hit me up. That's it. That's my story. But, like, something that did kind of happen that was, like, kind of creepy, besides off the board, was when I first bought, like, the whole setup and shit. I didn't play it the first night, but I did have a sleep paralysis. I fell asleep with the board on the bed. And I woke up. And when I woke up, like, I knew I was sleeping, but, like, I see my body. I did see my body. And my right arm was, like, I was laying on my side. Most people that have sleep paralysis, they have it on their back. I was not on my back. I was on my right side, laying on the side. And, like, I just felt so heavy. And I'm like, all right, well, I got to turn to the side. I didn't see nothing, but I could not move my body. Like, how can you not move your body? Like, everybody knows how to move their body to the other side. No, it did not happen to me, like, at all. So I remember, like, I turned the light off before I fell asleep. But when all this was happening, when I seen myself, like, it felt like I was looking down at my arms. So it felt like I was in my body, but I could see everything that was going on. The light was on in the background when I was trying to move and shit. But, like, when I physically, like, snapped back into it and when I woke up, the lights was off. I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, I think, like, I must have astral projected or something. Like, and I should have known then that something was the fuck up. But, like, like I said, I'm hard-headed. So I didn't know, like, shit get real, bro. Shit gets the fuck real. I went to the bathroom and came back, and mine just like 3 a.m, and that's when they say, like, demons or whatever and spirits are, like, at their most because people are sleeping weak. And, like, so when I went back to sleep, I kept having weird ass dreams. I kept having dreams that I kept falling off the bed. Like, I fell off the bed twice. Mind you, these dreams were so real that, like, I woke up like, did I really fall off the bed? Like, but I seen the pillows fall off the bed with me and all the extra shit. The pillows were still on the bed when I woke up. So it's just like, I just felt like something took over me, like, or interrupted my dreams and like turned them into reality. I cannot explain it. I'm done explaining this shit, bro, because I'm getting the chills. Mimi, I wish I could say her real name, because Mimi also asked the fucking board, like, she said she felt like something physically was breathing down her neck, like, and she asked the board, like, was that you? And it said yes. And that's just like, all right, like, we're done playing this shit. Like, it's really scary. Like, it's not that it's like I can't say it's really a bad scary. Like, it's just scary that when you don't understand something that you can't physically see. I mean, people have seen spirits. Shit has manifested. It has not happened to me since I was a kid. But when you're a kid, you blame it on being a kid. Like, kids have big imaginations. I'm an adult, like I said. And this shit is just, like, mind fucking. Like, I don't know what to say. But all I gotta say is, like, we did say goodbye every time. And they haven't hit me up and said that, like, anything bad happened. But now they know a bitch not lying. Like, a bitch don't lie for shit. Like, for what? Like, especially when it's y'all first time playing. I'm done, bruh. Ouija boards, you be careful.